She was 92, dressed in Sunday best purple, clutching a tiny leather Bible older than the bride herself, and in front of 300 silk-clad guests the bride's mother hissed, "We don't seat those people at the head table." The ballroom froze. Crystal chandeliers seemed to stop swinging. Grandma Evelyn just smiled, the kind of smile that had stared down fire hoses in 1963, and whispered, "Child, I've been moved before." What happened next gave the entire wedding the biggest scare of its life. Marcus Thompson had never asked for spotlights. At 28, he coded apps in a quiet corner of Atlanta's tech district, the first in his bloodline to trade cotton fields for college dorms. He grew up in a two-bedroom apartment on the west side, the one with the leaky faucet Grandma Evelyn fixed with a penny and prayer. His mother died when he was 7, breast cancer, no insurance. So Evelyn became mother, father, Sunday school, and savings account. Every paycheck Marcus earned went into a jar labeled ring. 18 months later, he knelt in a park at dusk and slid a solitaire onto Lauren Whitford's manicured finger. She cried, posted the video, got 2 million views before dessert. Lauren was 27, rose gold hair, 1.2 million followers who called her Lala Dreams. Her feed was peonies and sunrise yoga, sponsored athleisure, and captions like manifesting magic. She grew up behind the gates of Charlotte's Foxcroft neighborhood, where driveways curved like smiles, and the pool guy spoke Spanish so softly you could pretend he was scenery. Her parents owned 3 dealerships, BMW, Mercedes, 1 Tesla, just a flex. The wedding budget hit $250,000 before the save-the-dates shipped. Lauren loved Marcus the way people love rare sneakers, passionately, publicly, and a little afraid someone might scuff them. Grandma Evelyn arrived at the country club the night before the wedding wearing the same purple hat she'd worn to every graduation, funeral, and first date since 1978. The hat had survived 2 hurricanes and 1 mugging. She carried a quilted clutch stuffed with butterscotch candies and a glucose meter for the diabetics she still checked on at church. Marcus hugged her so hard the hat tilted. "You sit front and center tomorrow here," he said. Evelyn patted his cheek. "Baby, I sit where the Lord plants me." The rehearsal dinner unfolded under a ceiling draped in fairy lights. Diane Whitford, Lauren's mother, platinum bob, diamonds heavy enough to anchor a yacht, clutched a clipboard like a battle shield. She had color-coded place cards, a seating chart laminated in gold foil, and a photographer on retainer to crop anything that didn't match the palette. When she spotted Evelyn's name at table 1, she plucked the card with 2 manicured fingers and relocated it to table 12, the one beside the swinging kitchen doors where the smell of fryer oil clung to the air. Marcus noticed. "Ma'am, that's my grandmother." Diane's smile was a practiced crescent. "Head table is immediate family only, sweetheart. We must keep the symmetry." Marcus opened his mouth, closed it, felt heat crawl up his collar. Evelyn appeared at his elbow, voice soft as flannel. "Water off a duck's back, baby. Let's eat." Lauren watched from the bridal party table, phone in hand, live-streaming snippets for her stories. She saw the car move. She saw Marcus's jaw flex. She posted a photo of the centerpieces instead. White roses, baby's breath, caption dreams in bloom. The likes rolled in like applause. Morning broke humid and gold. The bridal suite smelled of hairspray and panic. Lauren sat under a ring light while artists painted her face into soft focus perfection. Diane breezed in wearing a mother of the bride gown the color of champagne and control. "We upgraded the peonies," she told the stylist. The original shade clashed with darker complexions in photos. The stylist's brush paused midair. Marcus's cousin Keisha, pretending to fix a bobby pin, heard every syllable. She typed furiously into the family group chat. "Y'all, table 12 wasn't the half of it." Screenshots flew. By the time the limo convoy left for the chapel, every cousin under 30 knew. Grandma Evelyn arrived early because that's what church mothers do. She wore the purple suit pressed crisp as scripture and helped the flower girl practice scattering petals without tripping. "Slow like you got somewhere to be tomorrow," she coached. The little girl giggled. Diane intercepted them at the chapel's double doors, smile tight, as corset lacing. "Ma'am, family entrance is around back." Evelyn's eyes, milky but sharp, traveled the length of Diane's gown. "Child, I've been entering front door since before your mama let you wear lipstick." Security shifted, unsure. Marcus appeared in his tux, bow tie still crooked, and offered his arm. "This way, Grandma." Diane's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Nothing came out. The ceremony began under a floral arch that cost more than Evelyn's first house. 300 guests fanned themselves with programs printed on seeded paper that would grow wildflowers if anyone actually planted them. The string quartet launched into Pachelbel. Marcus stood at the altar trying to breathe. When the officiant asked, "Who gives this woman?" Diane rose alone, hand raised like she was hailing a cab. Evelyn's hand lifted too, slower, sure. Diane pretended not to see. Marcus locked eyes with his grandmother across the aisle. She nodded once. "Stay steady, son." Vows were spoken. Rings exchanged. The kiss was picture perfect, but Marcus's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Reception doors swung open into a room transformed. Crystal, candlelight, a dance floor monogrammed with interlocking elements. Diane clinked her glass before the newlyweds. "Even Saturday, a toast to my daughter and our new family." She beamed like she'd invented marriage. Grandma Evelyn rose from table 12, purple hat catching every chandelier spark. She walked the length of the ballroom unhurried, cane tapping rhythm on marble. The microphone squealed feedback. Lights flickered. Every phone in the room buzzed at once. On the massive projector screen, a video neither family had cued began to play. The screen flickered to life with grainy VHS colors. 1968, a segregated auditorium. A 20-something Evelyn in cat-eye glasses accepting a plaque for Teacher of the Year while white parents clapped politely from the back row. Cut to 1985 hospital footage. Evelyn sliding a cashier's check across a counter to cover her daughter's chemo. The ring finger bear where her own wedding band used to be. Final clip, crystal clear security cam from last night's rehearsal. Diane leaning into the wedding planner, lips forming the word no one wanted to hear. The ballroom inhaled as one organism. Lauren's champagne flute slipped from her fingers and shattered like ice on tile. Diane lunged for the projector cord, heels snapping in the process. Sparks spat from the wall socket. The light strobed once, twice, then steadied. Marcus's cousin Jamal, 19, film school hoodie under his rented tux, stood frozen by the AV booth. He'd spent weeks digitizing old tapes for a surprise tribute, scheduled for after dessert. Someone else had hijacked the cue. The maid of honor, Brittany, pocketed her phone with a smirk sharp enough to cut glass. Grandma Evelyn reached the stage without hurry, cane clicking like a metronome. She took the microphone from Diane's trembling hand. Feedback squealed, then died. "I've been called worse by governors and grand dragons," she began, voice steady as Sunday. "Words slide off me like rain on a tin roof. But love? Love terrifies the proud." She turned to Marcus. "You keep choosing it, baby. Question is," her gaze slid to Lauren, "will she?" The room hung on the silence. Evelyn reached into her clutch and produced a quilt square no larger than a postcard, the exact ivory lace of Lauren's veil stitched to indigo cotton. "Every marriage needs mending. Start with this patch." She pressed it into Lauren's palm. The fabric was warm from Evelyn's body heat. Lauren's mascara ran in perfect influencer tears. She grabbed the second mic, voice cracking like the flute on the floor. "Mom, you don't get to Photoshop my family." She faced the crowd. "Anyone who can't sit at table 1 with Grandma Evelyn can leave right now." 3 aunts in pastel chiffon stood, pearls swinging like pendulums, and marched out. The doors slammed behind them with the finality of a gavel. Lauren's father, Greg, silent partner in the dealership empire, pushed back his chair. "I am staying." Somebody passed the cornbread. Diane swayed, hand to chest. Gasps rippled. Heart attack, stroke karma. She crumpled into a chair, faced the color of skim milk. Evelyn was already moving, nurse instincts older than the internet. She knelt, pressed 2 fingers to Diane's neck, fished a glucose tab from her clutch. Chew, child. You skipped your meds for vanity. Diane obeyed, eyes wide. Why help me? She whispered. Evelyn's answer floated over the hush. Because somebody fed me when I wasn't their people. The DJ, sensing salvation, dropped the needle on Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Marcus pulled Lauren onto the floor. Evelyn joined, teaching her a two-step that started in juke joints and ended in joy. Guests formed a Soul Train line. Phones rose like periscopes. Brittany live-streamed to Lauren's account. Caption, Real love, no filter. The clip hit 10 million views before the cake cutting. Diane watched from the sidelines, stabilized on sparkling water and humility. Greg moved Evelyn's place car back to table 1 with the reverence of a man handling nitroglycerin. The quartet packed up. A brass band took over, horns blaring, second-line energy. Lauren kicked off her heels and danced barefoot on marble sticky with champagne. Marcus spun his grandmother until her purple hat finally surrendered to gravity. Someone caught it midair. Cake was served. 3 tiers of vanilla bliss. 1 slice hand-delivered to Diane by Evelyn herself. Diane took a bite, eyes closed. Tastes like apology, she muttered. Evelyn winked. Add butter, child. Everything's better with butter. 1 year later, the montage rolled across the same projector screen, now repaired and rechristened the Redemption Wall. Lauren, belly rounded under a sundress, framed the quilt square above a crib painted the softest indigo. Diane and Evelyn brunching at a soul food spot, both in purple hats, laughing over mimosas. Marcus's startup valuation flashing $5 million on a Forbes screenshot. Seed money from Evelyn's church choir ladies who believed in boys who coded. Final frame. The shattered flute reconstructed with gold lacquer, kintsugi style, displayed on the mantel. The cracks caught the light like lightning frozen in glass.